Hey everybody, Katie Harris here from Mitochondria Code and Philly Wellness Center. And today we're diving into one of the most debilitating symptoms of long COVID, which is unrelenting fatigue. Yes, you've seen these people, you know these people, they know who they are. But many people recovering from COVID say they just feel drained just walking up the stairs or trying to get through a normal day, right? And that exhaustion can last for months and even years. So in this video, I'll explain how mitochondrial damage plays a central role in long COVID fatigue and what you can do to start rebuilding your energy. First and foremost, what are mitochondria, right? So let's start with the basics. Mitochondria are tiny organelles that are inside every cell of your body. So you have trillions of cells and you have hundreds of mitochondria in all trillion cells. So what's their job? To produce ATP, which is energy. That is the energy currency your cells use to power everything from muscle contraction to brain function. Think of mitochondria as your body's batteries, because that's essentially what they are. And they look just like batteries. It's almost like we copied when we're making batteries. It's like we copied what the mitochondria do. So when mitochondria are damaged or depleted, your energy levels can crash and fatigue sets in. So how does COVID harm mitochondria? During an acute COVID infection, the virus can trigger massive inflammation and oxidative stress, and this leads to direct mitochondrial damage. So viral proteins and inflammatory molecules can harm mitochondrial membranes and DNA. And the interesting thing about mitochondria is they have their own DNA, right? So they have a certain number of DNA that's unique to the mitochondria. So the mitochondria can do things on the fly. It can make changes on the fly. It doesn't have to ask permission. Like a lot of the other organelles, they have to answer to the head of the nucleus of a cell is like command central. And let's say the peroxisome is another organelle inside the cell, needs something. It doesn't have its own DNA. It's got to petition the nucleus to give it what it needs. But the mitochondria, they're like a special force, right? And they get their own, kind of a DNA army, and they can do things on their own, which is very exciting and very interesting. But anyway, energy production hijacking, the immune system demands a huge energy reservoir to fight infection, divert resources from normal cellular function. So that can happen in long COVID, and then persistent inflammation. So even after the virus is gone, ongoing low-level inflammation can keep mitochondrial dysfunctional. So these effects leave mitochondria unable to make ATP efficiently, and that's why many people with long COVID experience profound fatigue, muscle weakness, brain fog, and exercise intolerance. So mitochondria and the brain-body connection, what's going on there? So mitochondrial dysfunction doesn't just affect muscles, it disrupts every system in the body. Brain cells are highly dependent on energy, and the mitochondrial issues contribute to cognitive symptoms like difficulty concentrating or remembering words, right? So, I mean, even think of ADHD, right? There's a mitochondrial basis in ADHD because if you don't have the energy to focus, that is an area of the brain that it might not be considered a priority. Your priority is making sure your heart beats, making sure you can breathe. Those are priorities. Focus is almost a luxury, if you will. So when there's not enough energy or the energy that's being produced is very limited, there are certain things that need to go, and the body decides what needs to go. Unfortunately, you don't get to decide what goes and what doesn't go. So the heart, the mitochondrial fatigue can cause palpitations, dizziness when standing. In the muscles, low ATP, which is energy, means poor endurance, weakness, and slow recovery after activity. And just overall energy, just simple tasks like taking a shower or cooking can feel overwhelming. So understanding that fatigue is rooted in mitochondrial health, not just being out of shape, can change how you approach recovery. So strategies to rebuild mitochondrial health, here's what you can do to support your mitochondria. So on a daily basis, you need to take nutrients like CoQ10 or NAD precursors, riboflavin, niacin is a big one, and magnesium, which can help your mitochondria work better. Your redox balance. So you want to take some antioxidants like N-acetylcysteine, alpha-lipoic acid, and vitamin C, which reduce oxidative stress that damage mitochondria. I would also get a level like uric acid. So uric acid is your most potent and abundant water-soluble antioxidant, and it's like human made vitamin C, right? Vitamin C comes from outside exogenous sources, but the body has uric acid. So if your uric acid is low, and by low I mean less than 5, you can ramp up on vitamin C. I would start with 2 grams. Maybe you need some vitamin C infusions, but I would get that number up because while we usually check uric acid for gout, a low uric acid is associated with every neurodegenerative disorder that's out there. So, if you have low uric acid, you're low on antioxidants, which means there's a lot of oxidative stress going on. So that's something that I would replace in abundance. So it's a very cheap lab. I would ask your provider to order it for you. Even if you have to pay out of pocket, you're looking at maybe $3 or $4. Mitochondrial biogenesis, gentle exercise like walking or yoga activates pathways that help your body grow new mitochondria. You need more mitochondria, but avoid overexertion that causes crashes. And then things like red light therapy. Red light therapy actually penetrates through the cell membrane of the mitochondria and helps dysfunctional mitochondria. And it's the only thing that does that. So make sure you get a good red light and not just some cheap thing that you find on Amazon, but do your research and find a good one. Cell membrane support. So healthy membranes are critical for mitochondrial efficiency. So essential fats and plasmalogen precursors can stabilize these membranes. And rest and pacing. So listen to your body's signals. Pushing through severe fatigue can actually worsen mitochondrial dysfunction. Pushing through severe fatigue and just saying, if you just work harder or do this or do that, then that's not what happens. When the body's tired, it's sending you a message. You need to listen. So rest if you need to rest, but like the base issue here is mitochondrial dysfunction. So we need to do something. So sleeping for the rest of your life is not a great option, but what we need to do is improve your mitochondria so that you can be productive during waking hours. Fatigue after COVID isn't a moral failing. It's not laziness. It's a sign that your cellular energy systems need help. That's all it is, nothing more. So by supporting your mitochondria, you can rebuild energy and reclaim your life. So if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it, subscribe for more science-backed tips on a long COVID recovery plus other issues of the mitochondria. And for individualized help, please feel free to contact us, book a consultation with our team. Thanks for watching. And remember, healing starts at the cellular level.